after the first band I played with him in, which I'll tell you more about later, he always found some sort of a way to get me in the next band that he was in. I'd be off doing some sort of a project, and I'd be in the middle of something, I'd be done with something, and he would, I'd get a phone call from him. This wasn't even the story I was going to tell you. This is just laying the pipe to run the water through. He called me up and said, "Hey, what you doing?" "What do you mean, what am I doing, Temple? You playing with anybody?" No, not at the moment." "Well, you come and sit in with somebody." "What do you mean sit in with somebody?" I never quite got around to the point. So he finally invited me in for a one-off or a two-off gig. And next thing I know, I'd be finding out that there's more gigs coming up.
To sit in with.
Yeah, just to sit in with. It's like, you got me in the band again, didn't you, Temple? So he always enjoyed playing music. The story I was going to tell you is that we go around to jams as well, and it didn't matter who was running the show. He'd be up there. Well, two things. He'd be up there trying to direct, like leading the charge. But the other thing he'd be trying to direct wasn't to be the center of attention as much as to make sure that everybody got a chance to play. As a keyboard player, there's okay, I'm going to tell you my favorite insulting guitar riff. It's not my favorite insulting guitar riff. What's the difference between a billion bugs and a billion guitar players?
Oh my God!
What's the difference between a billion bugs and a billion guitar players? You can spray for bugs. Okay? Guitar players are ubiquitous. They are everywhere on the planet. And in a lot of the jams that we'd end up going to, there'd be some guitar player who decided that he was going to go, not just one lap around the tune, not just two laps around the tune, but 10, 15, 20, because, he was wailing. And once in a while, he'd be yelling, Temple, he'd be yelling over in the corner. "Throw the keyboard lead! Throw the keyboard lead! Kick my lead!" So I'd get one lead, and I'd be about halfway done, and some guitar player would just cut right in and take it over because, he hadn't gotten it. That's not all guitar players, okay? I play with a lot of damn fine guitar players who know how to share. But Temple was one of those people that he didn't just share. He made sure everybody got an even share, or at least he tried. And that goes to speak to his generosity and his interest in making sure that there was fair play. It spoke of Temple's heart and his spirit. He wasn't mean-spirited. I never knew of him to do anything intentionally selfish. Maybe unintentionally, but as soon as he found out, he went and corrected that right away. So that's my good friend Temple, and I know we're all going to miss him. I see a lot of faces out here of people that played with him. Rick, Flat Top, Frog. I can't think of your name. Kevin, yeah. And I've seen other faces out here of people who played with him. He's just, from the moment I met him, he was always out there and outgoing and keeping the music happening. How many of you guys heard this phrase? Especially you musicians. How many of you musicians heard him say, "Let's just do something"? Huh? Let's just do something. As if it was like an episode of The Monkees, or some sort of a Frank Sinatra tune where all of a sudden the band comes up from behind the couch with the dancing girls and everything else. Perfect stage lighting and a 60-piece orchestra.
Why are we recording this?
Oh yeah, and I record everything, so I used to get calls from him. "Well, I sure hope you don't delete that recording from last night." Now, Temple, why would I delete a recording from last night? I don't delete any of my recordings. "Well, I sure hope you don't delete a recording from last night." "Yeah, I heard you, Temple. That was a good I'd like to get a copy of that." "Oh, you will. Just don't delete it." "Okay, I promise. I won't do something I wouldn't normally do." He loved making music, and he loved helping other people make music. So anybody else got anything they want to say about our friend Temple? No?
I'll say something.
Oh, okay, well come up here to a mic. Yeah, you can testify.
she's not here tonight. But with Temple, there was always something to be done. There was, some new line to cross, and he was in Oklahoma at my mother's house. And with his love for chemistry, since he couldn't play the guitar, he put together a little bomb, and he detonated it in the middle of my mother's street. He just blew a ginormous crater just right there in the middle of the street, and asked us how we liked that, and if we wanted him to do it some more. He would always set little things on fire, and Temple was a great guy, and he was a lot of fun to hang out with, and a lot of fun to be around. And he will be missed. So, thank you.
Please. I want more people to talk to me.
If you were around Temple, if you were in his presence, he made sure that you knew that you were loved and you were special. I think that's why everyone is here, because when you were around Temple, you felt loved and you felt special. That's what was special about him. He wanted everyone else to feel that love. And he was frustrating and aggravating as hell. But when you were with Temple, you knew you were loved. And he wouldn't let you go until you had had a good experience with Temple. He was all about the experience. He loved his food, his fishing, and he just did shit that he loved. And who the hell wouldn't want to do that, right? And he did it. So he had a good life. He did. The mushroom hunting, the music, the food. He was such a foodie. Like, he just loved his food. So
Almost gonna leave you guys, he almost got parts.
that too. Like, we had many crazy road trips. That's how I know about the Burger 19. That's what he sounded like.
I came in late because I'm on Temple time.
Oh